Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine. I am doing the 101 Sketchbook Challenge, and it's time to tackle the sketch on page 103. I am going to be using the Wanderlust collection for this sketch, and let's get to it. All right, well, here it is. I do have my lighting adjusted so that way if you want to take a screenshot of my measurements, you can. Let me turn things up to where it's normally at, and this is the sketch on page 103. I will have it linked to the blog post in the description box below this video. As you can see, I've already got some pieces cut and kind of pieced together a little bit just because it was, I don't know if it was too tricky, but it was a little bit tricky. And so I want to show you the papers I'm working with for my base pages from Wanderlust are the one with the arrows. It has brown arrows on a black background. The back side is this, well, there we go, hexagon pattern. And then I also took a third sheet, and hang on, I got to make sure I get the right pieces with the right side of the paper here. So I also did cut the sheet that had the mountain scene on it, as you can see, maybe. Whoops, now I really made a mess of my thing here. Maybe I shouldn't have stacked things the way I did, but that's okay. I'm going to get this back together and everything is going to be going the right direction. There we go. Okay. So I think I made it a little more complicated for myself than I initially was thinking, but that's, hey, part of what I do, I think. So you can kind of see where I am taking the layouts and I'm making the single page examples into double page layouts. I took the page that had the mountain scene on it. On the back side is, because I don't want to mix it up again, the green compasses. And I then also took the sheet that had the red with, or the maroon color with the numbers and the dates on it. And that one had an actual photo on the back of it as well. I cut 1/2 inch strips. So it was a 1/2 inch by 12 inches. And then I stuck them on where you can see basically a little bit more than the 1/4 inch left. I just wanted to make sure I had enough space to stick these on. So each one of these got 2. These are my larger triangle. These are the smaller triangle. So I took my sheet. Here, let me show you. I'm almost afraid to move anything all of a sudden now that I feel like I got it kind of back in order, but here, how's about I do this? And then that way I'll show you. So when you go to cut your sheet on the diagonal, putting it into the trimmer, you are going to line up your 2 corners first. You're going to add a little crease up here, feed it into your 12-inch trimmer. You're going to cut it on the diagonal. And then once I did that, I had these 2 pieces that were complete. So you can see this is essentially a whole section of the page. And then I took these other 2 that were cut and cut those in half again on my trimmer. So that way I could piece together again the picture, but have it so where I could use it on the diagonal as well. So let me start putting some tape on here. And I'm just kind of running my tape so I can secure the strip as well. Here we go. And this is just going to line up here at this edge of my paper. I am centering it. And we will have some of it going off the edge of the page. Because essentially, there we go. And then I will grab my scissors coming up and we're going to take those off. But first I want to get them stuck on. Which direction was this going? Off the page. That's just the way the angle works out for us. So here we go. All right. So this is this way. I can faintly see the mountainscape. And I'm just going to line this up at the top of the page as well here. And then whatever runs off from the strip is going to get cut off. And that's fine because that's kind of the way I had it planned. Let's see, this one we want our trees to be running the correct direction up towards the sky. And here we go. This one scooted over just a little bit. This is going to overlap just a hair, as it should, because we are lining up our triangles here at the corner. There we go. So that is the right side of my page. I'm going to go ahead and set that aside for now. We're going to piece together this left side. And then I am going to do some cutting on this side. We'll finish this side off, and then I will do the cutting and finish off my right side of the page. Just gives me a little more space to work in as well. And then I will hold both of these up closer to the camera for you to see. I'm making sure I have my mountain in the bottom corner here. Just it's ever so faint, and I don't even know if the camera can see that, just that little bit right in there. Okay, this one's going to go this way. And I had basically 3 sheets left from the Wanderlust collection when I'm filming this, because I've already put together a couple of more using this collection. And I know it is one that I just really loved, this collection, but it's also getting ready to, I think, go away soon. I've seen it in the last chance section at the end of December here. So I'm glad to get a chance to use it a little bit more. And if you are wanting to make some of these layouts, as of the end of December 2023, the paper, the tonal paper, the laser mats, and the Fast Fab refill is listed as hot, but the other 3 items are still available and in our last chance section of my website that is linked with this video, my Creative Memories website. Grab out my scissors. So hopefully you still have some of the stickers and embellishments, or really these ideas can be worked with any collection. A lot of this is shading and just finding colors that work nicely together and then putting them together, cutting them out based on the inspiration from the sketchbook. And usually I kind of just pull some different parts together. So, okay, so these are going off of my table here. And now I also pulled in some Hot Fudge cardstock. I cut, let's see, okay, my mat pack was running low, so I didn't actually use as many mats on this one. This one, I have a 4x4 mat that I cut from the Hot Fudge cardstock. I also have I cut two 4x6 and two, let's see, I cut three 4x4, two 4x6, and I also cut two 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, which is what this one is. And I pulled out one mat from my mat pack. Oops, sorry about that. And that was this one, Out and About, because this is a good journal mat and the color works for me. Y'all know I'm a little bit fussy about color, so that's just what I had to work with that was left. So that's what I pulled. Initially, I was going to go a different direction, and then I just decided to, you know what, let's use a little cardstock, give you all some idea, another idea. I don't always cut mats because usually we have so many in the mat pack that work and we can easily use. Okay, so these two are going a little bit closer in. And yes, it is going to cover up our trees a bit, but you can still see those and you can still see our other parts of our layout here. This one is going up. And then I pulled a couple of embellishments. So hang on, this one's going to go right around here. So that's going to help with my placement of my mat, which kind of does cover up some of the mountains as well, but you know, it kind of is going to be what it's going to be. That's why sometimes it is a challenge to work with the mats that have the photos on them, because you just don't always want to cover up so much of the beauty. But you know, the main thing is to have the beauty in your photos that you are putting on the page. So that one's going to go in there. And also, this kind of also covers up that little seam. You get the motion of the angle. I wonder if I do want to put it. Actually, maybe I will put this one up here. And then my camera's going to go here. Yep. Or you can put your camera over this other seam over here as well. And then I also did pull this breathtaking view sticker because we have these white space here. And I just didn't want that much white on my page. So I am going to cover it up with that breathtaking views. The color works with my colors that are coming from my trees below. Usually we'll figure that one out. Let me get the right side done. Okay. So this one is going to go over here. Let's pull in the right side of the page and get this complete. And then I will figure out where I'm going to put that camera, because sometimes I piece it initially and then I actually get on camera and change my mind. So it happens, you know. It's part of the beauty of seeing it in action and actually seeing it stuck down does make a difference. And on your pages, move it and put things where you want to put them. You'll probably have a different embellishment. You may not have that camera. You might not have this collection. And so you can work with one of the other collections and pick a slightly different embellishment, because on the inspiration one, they only had a single embellishment right smack dab in the middle. So I definitely don't want to cut my camera. So we'll see how this works out for me. Let's see, this one's going this way. This is the 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. This is the 4x6 up here. And then I have the other two 4x4s that are going to go on over here. And I pulled a couple of stickers for this side of the paper. This one actually is going in a bit more, and this one's going to go over a little more, and this is going to take in some of that other space there. Okay, and then I have a circular one for the top part. And I'll show you that one in just a moment, although it's probably here. There it is on camera. Sometimes I get a little busy what I'm doing. I'm got to make sure I'm straight and for you all able to see what I'm doing here. Keeping that so you can see some of that other coming in. There we go. And here we go. This one you can see the mountain a little bit more, just from using the slightly smaller mats. And so we have so many places to see with our sticker here. That one's just going to go straight on the page as well. And this one has, whoops, when in doubt, travel, and it has the little X on the map with the little pointer going to the X there. And I'll bring the layout closer as well. Let me get a larger foam square here to put under this one, because I don't want it to interfere with when I go to put my photos on the page. So that's going to be up here. And now we come back to my camera dilemma on the other side of the page here. So this is where the embellishment is on our inspiration. And that actually does look really good right there, doesn't it? I wonder if I should go ahead and cut the camera. What do you think? Let's see here. Interesting. Yeah, honestly, I actually do kind of like it going right through that point there. So I think I am going to wind up. I actually really like it linear. For whatever reason, it just looks like it fits that little bit of space where those red ones kind of come together. I think I might be able to put it up against this edge here. And just going over a little bit of our mat here, and then I'll just flip it and cut it. Okay. Looks like that's what I'm going to be doing. Let me use the repositionable tape because I am going to be cutting through it, so I don't want to... I mean, I can cut through the regular tape as well. I just think this is going to make my life a little bit easier here. Line those up, lining this up. Oops. These are shifting a little bit, but that is what it is here. Okay, we're cutting the camera. Here we go. Let's flip it and cut through right in here. There we go. Okay. So it'll look a little bit spaced on in your album, but it still does carry that line, and I think it looks pretty good. All right. So here is our left side of the page. And here is the right side of our page. And there it is together again. And let me get the inspiration layout as well, so that way you all can see. And there we go. What do you think? How did I do? I think it worked out to be a very nice 2-page layout overall. Most of the photo suggestions for this one were very small. And you know I do like putting larger photos on the paper. So that's why I went with the larger mats overall. I mean, the 4x4 is even a little bit smaller for me. But if you want to go smaller and use the, cut another 4x4 or even some 3.5 by 3.5s going down, you could easily do that as well. All right, so I have also challenged myself to do a card with each of these layouts. And I'm going to show you this one real quick too. Let me pull this in. This one actually was inspired by the sketch. I have, whoops, my little handy dandy post-it note this time, so that way I don't have to tell you all while I'm measuring it again, because I actually tried to be a little bit more organized with this one. Let me go ahead and use my repositionable tape. I'm going to adjust my camera angle here in just a moment. So bringing everything back into the camera for you. Getting my seat lined up so I can actually put this together. You can see I actually had another square here that I cut for a mat that I just didn't wind up using on the layout. So I went ahead and cut it into quarters, just like I did with the other. I just followed the cutting guide on my trimmer and used that to cut a 3.5-inch square into two triangles. So these are going to go on basically like the others did. I'm kind of centering this. You can get out your 0 centering ruler and do it that way. I think I'm going to be okay eyeballing it. Let's hope. Because I also have some strips I'm going to be running through the paper as well. Or through the card as well. I apologize for that. Through the card. And so definitely inspired by our layout here in the sketch. So these are 3/4 inch strips using the green compass paper. And honestly, this is what I kind of have had left over in my Wanderlust Power Project folder, in my Wanderlust Power Project folder. So let me I do need to lift this up a little bit. So that one's going to go in after here. Let me get this one going. Okay. So getting this at an angle here. And I may have to adjust one of my other triangles as well. This actually might wind up going over something. Nope, I'm going to have to adjust my strip. Or, well, let's put the other strip down and see what happens here. Is that going to run through there okay? Looks like it does. It doesn't look too bad at all. So it's just this one that's going to go over, which is okay. Or we can leave it with just 3. Maybe that's it. Maybe we leave it with just 3 and leave that other one open and scoot this one over just a hair and scoot the other one over just a hair at the top. Because, of course, we're working on a rectangle and not on a square like what we were with our layout. So let me, I'm missing my multi-purpose tool again. Now they're going to be so happy when I get that replaced. I know. Sorry, I don't mean to whine about it. It's coming. I know it's coming. It's just going to be in January when I actually get it. Okay, so we have that. And then I also have, okay, so we need to cut off our excess first. Let's do this first. Okay. All right, so I also pulled this leaving on a jet plane. I think we should put that one through here. And I also pulled this flying somewhere. That actually might work out pretty well. And then we can actually use our dark green jet plane up here to hold this on, our little tag on. Okay, let's put this down. No foam squares this time. But I thought this would be kind of a fun card to give somebody, like maybe a spouse or a best friend. Like if you're going to give them a trip, you know? Let's, which is a very generous gift, I guess, for a friend, of course. But and there's a little punch out on this one here. Some of our stickers have those, so you can see there's just that little space there from where the plane connects to the ribbon. And so I thought, you know what, maybe you have a friend who has had a spouse pass away, or you have a spouse that you want to treat for a special anniversary and you want to take them on a plane trip. Well, here you go. Here is a perfect card to give them. We're going to add that one there. We're going to add this one here. These are the enameled pieces that come with our embellishment pack. And get that one going that way. And this one is going to go here. I'm going to run this one going this way. And so there you go. So if you want to surprise somebody with a trip, here is a fun card idea that you can make to surprise them with a trip. How's about that? So I hope you enjoyed seeing my interpretation of the sketch and the card that also was inspired by it as well. Please leave me a thumbs up if you liked it. Until next time.